It's important to be able to accompany yourself or another vocalist effectively. And what this means is, especially if you're the only instrument in accompaniment, especially in a church setting or a wedding setting, as has been the case for me, you ought to be able to provide color and texture. And you ought to be able to stay out of the way of the vocalist, whether that's yourself or somebody else. And it really depends on the style of music. And so I'm going to go through some different styles and things that you can do as to comp, as you would say, as a hep cat would say, how to accompany either an instrumentalist or a vocalist effectively. Or let's say you're in a church setting and you're playing an up-tempo number. You're playing a country tune, a fast two-beat country sort of thing. Now I'm going to show you the left hand, I'm going to show you the right hand. I'll play it for you first, now I'll show you the left, show you the right, show you what I'm doing. And I'll explain it in as simple terms as I can, without trying to water anything down. So, there was one time in my life I was condemned to die. I was walking in my sinful way. Jesus, he paid the ransom for my soul. I knew the world goodbye when he calls me out fly away. Alright, that was an old song called When He Calls Me, I'll Fly Away. Now what I'm doing in the left hand is I'm taking whatever chord. In this case I'm playing in G. It suits my voice better. That's important. Finding a key that suits your voice. We'll talk about that some other time. But I started out with the fifth chord in G, which is D. I make it a D7. I'm just playing a D7. And I walk up to G, starting on D. And then I go into my bass line. You can call it a root fifth alternating bass, because I play the root of the chord, which is G, and then the chord, then the fifth. That's hard. It took me a long time to learn to do that. You could also play it up here and just... And at quick tempos, this sounds choppy. And it's not accurate. And so it's almost better to play it closer instead of dropping the root down an octave, if you see what I'm doing. When it goes to change chords, I'll walk up. So I'm walking up to C. That's the next chord. And that adds movement. It adds linear movement, and that's very important. That any time a chord changes, especially in a very fast piece, you need to the music needs to move. The music, it sets you up as a vocalist, especially for big notes. And so just like in the intro, I walked up. But it really depends on, you need to time your walks, because it depends on the what chord is next. You know, in this song, it goes to an A, and then a D, and then a G at the end. And then it goes to an A. Well, there's only one note between G and A, and so you don't want to, on the first beat of a measure, play a G sharp and then hold it. And you get this chord that's out of the key, and it sounds awkward. So that's why you're playing along. You see, I did it on the fourth beat, the and a 4. You want the walk to seamlessly mesh. That's the idea. You want all these chords to fit together. You don't want anything to be choppy. You want everything to be smooth, no matter your style of playing. And so that's real basic country playing, gospel playing, up-tempo, sort of a bass line. Or like I showed, you can do it up here instead of dropping the fifth down an octave. You look at ragtime, like Scott Joplin sort of stuff, you're going to have lots of that in the bass. Stride piano is included in that as well. But anytime you can walk between chords is important. Anytime you can find common notes. In this case, it goes from a G to an A to a D to a G. And so I can go play a D over the G, under the G, then an E because the A chord. You see what I'm doing there? I'm playing the common notes. It's not hard. And I'm not going to go and show you the keys. I'm giving you ideas. You need to use your ear. You see, I'm not going to water this down. I'm trying to spell it out as easy as I can. But that's exactly what I'm doing. It's not going to be the same every time because I'm not playing by sheet music. I know the song. I listen to Holy Lister and the Statesman, and okay, this is what he's doing. Kind of, okay, take these ideas. Listen to somebody else. Take their ideas, and so. That's what I'm doing in the bass. Now the right hand's a different animal. Normally you'd be playing the melody in the right hand. I'd be playing etc. But I'm not. I'm singing the melody. And so what I simply need to do is to provide, I need to keep space, but I need to provide texture, and I need to provide something that complements my voice. I know, I'm not listening, I'm not accompanying a soloist. I know what I'm going to sing, I know how I'm going to sing it. And so I can put chords in between gaps in phrases, and I can play to complement the bass. Notice I did that little walk. See what I'm doing? I'm playing on the and of the, I'm playing on the offbeat. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's very effective. And mostly I'm just playing chords. I'm playing chords, I'm playing little licks around chords. I'm not getting too busy. What I mean by that is if I were to do this. There was a once time in my life I was condemned to die, walking in my sin, sent away. I messed up, but either way, you see that doesn't even make sense. Instead I play tastefully. Think Count Basie. Count Basie sort of comping. There was a once time in my life I was condemned to die, I was walking in my sin, sent away. Well, Jesus, he paid the ransom for my soul. I paid the world, but he calls me. You see what I'm doing? I'm just playing real basic licks. Quietly, I'm not pounding on the keys, and I'm staying out of the way of my vocals. And just like with the left hand, where you walk up, you can do that same sort of thing with the right hand. Of course, when you go to change chords, you play the 7th chord in most cases. So you're on the 1 chord. I'm going to the C. I play the diminished fourth. See, watch, I play C sharp. If you see what I'm doing, I'm just going C chord, C sharp, and that's walking up. A trick that I see it in several Hovey Lister recordings of this song is when you're on the fifth, you play the chord a half step up. So, sinful way, it's E flat to D. I'm doing what I was doing. It sounds complicated, but it's really not. I'm just a lot of that. A little tremolo adds a lot to a piece. I can sit here and play tremolo and make it sound a lot more advanced than it is. Much sounds a little hokey, but that's all I'm doing, and you end up with a nice polished product.